You have some knowledge of it, and I don't want to ask whether you are involved in the investigation or not. No, I'm not going there. But you have referenced it quite a few times, so you are aware of the Luchaba matter.
Yes.
Okay. I want to refer you to paragraph 6 of this referral affidavit, because I had a bit of a challenge working my way through it. If we start at paragraph 4, you recall we agreed that paragraph 4 speaks of manipulation of procurement processes and processes to appoint and promote. That's what paragraph 4 is dedicated to at page 513. Correct? Then I turn over at 514 paragraph 5, that then introduces Minister Cele and the appointment of General Khumalo himself. And there's an issue, a question, no, not an issue being raised, that he was appointed without an interview process and without having worked as a senior police manager in crime intelligence. So that's another separate, distinct issue. Then I get to 6.
Yes.
Okay, I get to, I forgot.
Sorry, I nodded.
The transcript doesn't see a nod.
My answer to that would be yes.
Yes, thanks. Then I get to 6. And now that's where that appears to be what I would call, quote unquote, the Luchaba matter. That's what paragraph 6 speaks to.
Paragraph 6,
Yeah.
yes, yes.
But paragraph 6, then remember what we have just been discussing and what precedes paragraph 6. Paragraph 6 starts with the following words. The cover-up of the incident alleged took place at General Luchaba House, where his state property was stolen, is also concerning. What cover-up do you know, and of what incident? Because it says the incident, not an incident. So clearly there was an incident that the author assumes the reader knows, but has not referred to up until paragraph 5. So he says there is a cover-up of the incident. Okay, are you able to
Yes.
shed some light on that? Yes.
Thank you, Chair, Commissioners. I think the Luchaba matter is the matter that stands out, where a cover-up is very clear in the matter. In this particular matter, case was opened in August 2022. In this matter, a lady was taken home by General Luchaba.
No, that's fine. If I may, I
Yes,
apologize.
but,
I don't want the details of the Luchaba matter. I'm looking at the Section 27 affidavit, which is the trigger for
Yes.
your investigation.
Yes.
So those are the facts I take you subsequently established.
Yes.
But now, on the 21st of November, as this affidavit is submitted, all the affidavit tells you is about their cover-up of their incident, allegedly concerning General Luchaba at his house. What is it talking about, as it tells you here? Regard being had to what precedes paragraph 6.
If I'm trying to understand you, what cover-up? Is that what you want to?
And yes, because I would expect...
What cover-up and who covered up?
No, I would expect, when at paragraph 6 it says the cover-up of the incident, I would expect to go back into the affidavit to firstly establish what incident this is, and then to understand where is the cover-up. So on the reading of this affidavit, paragraphs 1 to 5 are completely divorced from what is referred to at paragraph 6. It's almost like a chunk is missing from the affidavit. And I want to understand, what do you understand by the cover-up of the incident? And this is in the referral affidavit. Without the benefit of investigating yourselves to even establish whether there was an incident concerning General Luchaba at all, before it's even covered up.
And please do not misunderstand the question. The question is not asking you to state what the cover-up was, and also the cover-up, house, where the property, it is more when you read this, what do you understand the cover-up and the incident? What do you understand those to be as you read this? Would you, looking at this, know what the affidavit was talking about? I think that's how I understand the question. So, Ms. Silo is not asking you to tell us
Okay.
what the cover-up and the incident in fact were. That's not the question. As you read this, what would you understand the cover-up and the incident to be without any substantiation? It just comes out of the blue like that.
Yes, sir. This is on the 27th.
Now, please respond to the question.
When I read this paragraph, it states that an incident took place at Luchaba's house. And
It's quite important to look at the article. The article is it's not a cover-up. And it's the incident, it's not an incident. You are saying an incident. That's not what this is saying. So the articles there, the and the second the, those are quite important.
I'm still struggling a bit. Maybe just assist me with more clarity on it.
No, please read at your pace and see if you can assist us.
What I take from what is here is that it was an incident that was covered up with regards to what actually happened at Luchaba's house. That's what I take from here. So, and my understanding of it was this, that there was classified items that were stolen from his house.
You don't, let's see.
That's not in the paragraph.
Sorry, Ms. Silva, please.
No, Chair, I agree with you. That's not in the paragraph. You see, you are taking information you subsequently learned and you are reading it into the paragraph.
Well, apologies, Commissioner. It's because I'm involved in the investigation that these things come out naturally. So my apologies, and I'm trying to restrain myself on it. But
that's exactly where the problem lies. That's where the problem lies, because you must look at this and read it in conjunction with the provisions of Section 27 to see if the requirements for a referral have been satisfied. Now you see, you read reference to the cover-up and the incident. You are coming in cold.
yes,
You
I
have no
understand you now.
idea what the writer is talking about. And what you appear to have done is then to dig and get to what you then considered to be the cover-up and the incident. That's not how you should do it.
Yes,
you must understand from the statement what exactly is meant. Is there enough in the statement or the affidavit? Section 27 requires an affidavit. Is there enough in the affidavit to satisfy those requirements? The statement can't just talk about a cover-up and an incident. What on earth are those? Sorry, Ms. Solo.
Thank you, Chair. And if I may just add to what the Chair says, because the concern is, and I'm sure you'll appreciate, what you end up doing in your investigations is highly invasive. So you would like to be satisfied that you have the sufficient grounds to be that invasive and start investigating individuals. Wouldn't that be fair? So if the statement doesn't give you a basis, one would expect a level of restraint before you start using your power to investigate people. Or am I being too rigid in my approach?
Colonel, can I say something? When we are asking you questions, assume that we are looking at 2.1 in the summons, and what we are trying to establish is whether IDEC operates outside of its mandate in terms of the prescribed legal prescripts, namely Section 7(1)(a) of the NPA Act. So our engagement is aimed at establishing that. That's why we are looking at the affidavit as it stands, and we are saying would IDEC, looking at the affidavit, without the subsequent knowledge of the facts that you came to learn about a year later,
Yes, sir.
look at that affidavit and say, it complies with section 27, I have jurisdiction to continue the investigation. So you don't have to look at what did you subsequently learn. You are simply looking at what does the affidavit say. Looking only at what it says, are we in the section 27 territory?
Yes, sir. No, I look at it. I'm looking at it now, and the paragraph 6. When you look at it in terms of what crimes were committed, in terms of the relevant mandate, you cannot just extract it from this affidavit, just like that, because it talks about a cover-up, right, and theft of property. So when looking at the paragraph, you cannot say that what's required in terms of 71A is in this just by looking at it like as it is. Yes, that's the way I.
That's really the point.
Yes.
Isn't that true for paragraph 5 and 7 as well?
When I look at paragraph 5, Commissioner, I will have a different view by reading it, and the view that I would have here, that it does conform to that, because it touches on corruption. So, but it's different from 6, where it's talking about a cover-up and theft, but whereas 5 speaks to corruption. And
Yes. Well, 5, I would suggest the operative part of it is it's a suspicion. He's in paragraph 5, Mr. Adams says, I suspect that some of the funds are being given to Minister Cele. Are you saying that meets the threshold that triggers your investigation? He's made sufficient allegations to trigger your Section 27 powers? Or in fact, 71A powers. He says it's a suspicion. He doesn't say what is the basis for the suspicion.
Yeah, I think from the word suspect, suspicion, it does hang in there, in terms of bordering on that, because you need more information substantiated, and that. It's just saying I suspect.
Yes.
So when you're viewing it in terms of, okay, does it form to the 71A, it can be seen differently.
Yes.
But as I indicated, Commissioner, with regards to myself, I didn't view the Section 27 referral. So I'm sitting in the middle end where I already went out.
Yeah. I accept that you didn't make the decision to take this case in. And those who did will come and explain. I think that all I was pointing out is in the light of your concession about paragraph 6, whether you are prepared to make the same concession in respect of 5, just looking at 5 as it stands. It says, yes. I suspect crime intelligence money is being given to former Minister Cele, and that's all that he says.
Yes.
And then again in paragraph 7, he says, I suspect that money is being siphoned by the 3 that he has named and many others from the secret fund. So the point really that I was checking with you is just on the face of these paragraphs, forget what you say you've investigated and you now know, just on the face of this, that does not, are you prepared to accept that it doesn't seem to meet the requirement of what Section 27 contemplates, which is there has to be a reasonable suspicion?
All that I can say, it's a reasonable suspicion, and it's hard for me to comment more on paragraph 5, 6, and 7. I can form my own opinion, but I do not want to form the opinion for management. I would prefer management come and explain than rather myself.
That does not, are you prepared to accept that it doesn't seem to meet the requirement of what Section 27 contemplates, which is there has to be a reasonable suspicion?
All that I can say, it's a reasonable suspicion, and it's hard for me to comment more on paragraph 5, 6, and 7. I can form my own opinion, but I do not want to form the opinion for management. I would prefer management come and explain than rather myself explaining something.
Okay, thank you.
That I will interpret differently.
I will not leave it there.
Thank you, Chair.
You see the paragraph in front of you.
Yes.
Can you comment on it? Does does what's stated there meet the requirements of Section 27?
Yes. So I
You apply this section. You work. That's what gives you the powers to act, to investigate. As you read that section, regardless of who took the decision, does it meet the requirements of Section 27?
So when I look at it and I see the word suspect, I suspect cover-up. It is just my opinion that when I look at it in comparison with what Section 1A said, it is my opinion that these words doesn't give much.
You see the problem with your approach, and you've done this a good few times. The problem with your approach is that you seem to believe that once an allegation has been made, then the Section 27 requirements have been met. Just because Mr. Adams says he suspects without substantiating, then for you that's sufficient.
Yes.
How can that be?
Commissioner, maybe it is such that I see the allegation and I interpret it like that, and I've given the explanation as to why. But that's why
The only explanation you give is that in there, a point is made that Mr. Adams suspects.
Yes.
And he suspects without substantiating. So my point is, it seems to me that once an allegation has been made to you, the requirements of Section 27 have been met, and surely that cannot be.
No, that cannot be, Chair. That I understand.
So again, I will ask you again, have a look at paragraph 5 and tell me, as you read it, whether you are of the view, the firm view, that the requirements of Section 27 have been met.
Commissioner, when I look at paragraph 5 and 6 and the requirements.
I'm asking you about 5 only. That's the last thing Commissioner Badoy was
Yes.
engaging you on.
When I look at paragraph 5, because of the words used, and looking at the act, I can say that.
Bearing in mind that there's no substantiation at all.
Sorry, sir.
Bearing in mind that there's no substantiation, the suspicion that Mr. Adams is expressing has not been substantiated.
Yes, sir.
Bearing that in mind, are you saying that the requirements of Section 27 have been satisfied?
No, sir. That's my answer.
Now, you also seem to, my sense is that you believe that because, as you allege, you did not have sight of this referral affidavit, that makes your position or your situation better. I take the view that it actually makes your position worse. How could you go ahead with an investigation without even check for yourself that there was a well-grounded referral? How could you do that? Bearing in mind, as you said when I engaged you earlier, that there may be instances where you may have to query the instruction that you should investigate.
Yes.
So your position actually gets worse if you go ahead with an investigation without having seen the referral affidavit. It doesn't get better. Do you agree with me?
I take what you say, Chair, and I understand what you say.
Do you agree with me?
I would agree with you, Chair.
And why would you not have insisted to see the referral affidavit here?
That's why I was continuing on what I was saying, Chair.
Yes.
Were you mentioning it now that by not seeing the referral and the fact that I didn't see the referral, if there was something else there, that I actually put myself in a bad position. I am saying at that moment in time, when the briefing was done with regards to the investigation, I did not think or it come to my attention, hey, but where is the referral? That is not the way I worked at that moment in time.
But exactly for the point that I have made, which you agree with, which is that the referral may well not be properly grounded, and for that reason, you may be entitled to take issue with it. Why did you not insist on getting the referral affidavit here?
Thank you, Commissioner. I think you highlighted something very important. And moving forward on that, there's no other answer I can give to say that with regards to future investigations, and as highlighted and pointed out by the Commission, if there is such investigations again, I would request a copy of the referral. And that's how I will go moving forward. But to go back at that moment in time, in that space of time, there and then, it does not cross my mind. I'm an investigator there working with my chief. I take it. For me, what he's saying is that if I look at it, yes, everything is fine, and we proceed. So that's what I'm saying there. And I cannot put any other words and try and sail around it, except to say that moving forward, you have pointed out and highlighted something that I should satisfy myself, say, let me get the Section 27 referral, let me have a look at this. Another point is that because the Section 27 referral and the manner in which these cases were highlighted in the media before the Commission, and I listened to this, I've taken lessons from that to say this is what I would implement with myself going forward with these matters. So that being said, and that is what I appreciate, Commissioner. There's nothing more I can say about that. Thank you, Commissioner.
And I assume that any colleague of yours who were to come here and say that you actually did have sight of the referral affidavit would be lying. From what you've said, that would be your response. But if there were to be such a person, their story would be more probable than yours on this. It just, as I said earlier, I find it hard to believe that you would not have had sight of this document. So if there were to be someone who says, no, we actually gave Col Padayachee that document, it would be easier for one to believe that story than your story. But of course, I'm not deciding the issue now. I'm just saying it would be much, much easier to believe that. I said it up front that it's hard to believe what you are telling us. Do you want to comment? Do you want to comment on that?
Yes, I will comment, Commissioner.
Yes. I'm not saying there will be such a person. Only the evidence leaders know whether that will be so or not. I see. I see Ms. Sillo. I think I saw her shaking her head. Maybe nobody will contradict you.
Chair, I will neither confirm or deny that there will be such a witness.
Please
respond to my comment.
I say this and respond, Commissioner, and I want to be honest. I'm under oath.
Yes.
And I have been affected by a lot of things that's been said in the media.
Yes.
It does hurt when I know the truth, because I am there, and other people speculate about it. And coming from the environment and knowing what it is, and which is facts, we got to ask ourselves, in the search for truth, do we find the truth? I have served for 44 years. I have come back to assist to fight corruption. But it has shown that this is a serious challenge. But people want to know the truth, so there will be uncomfortable moments. So, to respond to your question, with regard to somebody comes here and says, no, but I gave Brian Padayachee that Section 23. I say to you that I'm under oath that I never received that Section 27 referral until a couple of months ago, when it became an issue and when I had sight into it. I immediately, and as I've been throughout my career, as a disciplined police officer, when a superior and a commander comes and briefs me, gives me I take what he says, I listen to it. If it's lawful and I know it's lawful and I have a feeling it's lawful, I execute it. But I just wanted to point that out, the last one, Commissioner, it does hurt.
Yes.
And I'm relaying it, that I've come here to the Commission to speak the truth, to be of assistance to the Commission. I've tried that with the Zondo Commission, and therefore I submitted a Zondo affidavit. General Mkonazi may come and also say that, yes, he pointed it out then. We have a person sitting in the witness program since 2012 to date that exposed the corruption in crime intelligence. His punishment or his reward is that to date he's still in the witness protection program and only the people around him, because he disclosed the real rot. So it's not something that is easy. But I don't want to drag my answer too long, Commissioner, but I had to get that across. I'm here, I'm under oath, and what I'm saying is the truth. I'm not manipulating some of the stuff. The English language is also a challenging thing too as well, when how we interpret things and how we come across. But the way I have portrayed and what I've said in my evidence is indeed the truth. I won't cover up, and I won't, as I said, General Kumalo, General Madondo, General Lekalakala are known personally to me. So this adds more to it, like an ongoing needle into you when you have to go on to it. Thank you, Chair.
In the face of the hurt that you've just expressed, let me grant you this. Cases that may have appeared to be improbable, or narratives that may have appeared to be improbable, have at times actually been proved to be true. So perhaps for now, let me just say I'm keeping an open mind, but of course I have to engage you on my thoughts. And it's at that level that I say to you, I find it hard to believe this. But as I say, let me grant you, or rather let me tell you that some improbabilities have been proven to be actually true. I will leave it at that. But that does not necessarily take away what I have put to you or what I have engaged you on.